What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. It is October 15th, 2025. I am Sean Ross Sapp. It's 2 p.m. Eastern. You know what that means. It's time for us to hump. Oh, we are so ready to hump. We're humping all across the pond. We're doing that. We're doing that. And we're doing it with a person who we haven't with before, someone who I adore, I respect, I truly admire in this wrestling media landscape. From Whatculture, Mr. Simon Miller. How you doing, man?
Thanks, man. What a nice thing to say. I am good. I now have a frog in my throat from nowhere, which always happens when I do live shows. My throat betrays me, but I'm very good, dude. I genuinely appreciate you asking me here, and I'm excited to do some humping, obviously.
It's funny because, like, I often get accused of vanity searching myself on Twitter, and I'm like, guys, if you type in SRS, a bunch of stuff about sexual reassignment surgery comes up. If you type in my own name, I tweet a lot, so it's just my own tweets.
Your own tweets,
but
yeah.
Occasionally, I'll look myself up on YouTube to be like, okay, let me make sure that, like, some goblin isn't stealing my SEO type of stuff.
Hell yes.
And one of the top clips is just me talking about respecting you.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
They clipped it. Our friend Tom Talks Rubbish clipped it and then posted it. And man, so many people like you that they clicked that just to see me saying nice things about you.
I will take that. That's a lovely place to be in. So I will accept that. I will embrace that. And I will hope that continues on forever, but it probably won't.
I think it will. Well, guys, if you're here right now, please leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe, all that good stuff. But we talk about what you guys want to talk about on this show. So get in your super chats and humper chats. Super chats here at youtube.com/Fightful. We had an interview yesterday with Cash Flow. And for those of you who don't know who that is, because you don't watch OVW, he is the star of Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone now. So check that out, guys. We'll have a lot more stuff in the coming week, but you can also go to humperchats.com. That's if you're one of the thousands watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, or wherever really, but it's HUMPER chats.com. That is hump like the camel's hump like the middle of the day, hump like a Wednesday, or hump like a physical recreational activity of which you would be
making that
humping.
Noise.
Humping. And I want to thank my good friend Josh Morgan, who always sends a lovely donation. It means an awful lot. He always does that and supports us. And Sean for becoming a new channel member where you can get early access to our interviews. But Just Mask starts us off, Simon, and says, when I was 17, new to the gym post-COVID shutdowns, or post the COVID forced shutdowns. I promise I'm not illiterate, guys. He says, and clueless as to what to do and had no confidence. Simon's workout videos helped me find my way. I'm 22 now, and the foundation you laid still shapes my workouts to this day. Thank you so much, Simon. Look at that. Immediately upon humping, we found out what you laid, and that was a foundation to inspire people, Simon Miller.
Which is crazy because, yeah, I started doing those fitness videos just before, literally like 2 months before the pandemic hit. And then because I was trapped in my house, I was like, well, I may as well do some more. I got nothing else to do. So to think anybody was inspired or helped or whatever the word would be, that's super cool. Because let's face it, there's some gym content out there that is bad and just lies to you about what you should do. So if somebody actually listened to what I like to believe is sound advice, very flattering, very cool.
There's my algorithm on Instagram is so messed up, but there's, I don't want to bury her, but it'll become clear who it is. It's this young lady who dances around in a grocery store and tries to show you healthy options. And she does spins and all that. And someone has just taken all of her content and added farts to it and done a completely new channel.
Why wouldn't we do that with technology?
And it has almost as many followers as she does.
Amazing.
Which I would just kind of lean into it if I were her. But Mike Owens says, my two favorite folks in wrestling media. In the spirit of Simon being here, what's your favorite goofy wrestling moment in recent memory?
Oh, man.
I'll start off. And if you want to talk recent, sort of recent memory, the Orange Cassidy Sting, like little exchange was an all-time favorite because I didn't expect something like that. It's nowhere near recent memory, but go back 20 years and enjoy things that I originally hated, like the Katie Vick angle that I rewatched. And I'm like, okay, this is hilarious in a vacuum. I don't have to worry about reviewing it next week. But are there some recent goofy moments that stand out to you?
So it's funny you mentioned that Sting one because I saw an interview with Orange Cassidy the other day where he said he didn't know Sting was going to do that, and he just started doing it. That's probably with you guys, to be honest. That's probably on Fightful that I read it. But and I just thought, isn't that awesome? I like to believe that it's true, and it's not just sort of saying it because it's a cool thing to say, which sums up why Sting is the best. But given that Orange Cassidy has snuck his way into this chat, I will go with one from last year, which caused, because I put this in my top 10 matches of the year, and my gosh, people were so mad. But it was that Rampage match of Orange Cassidy versus the Outrunners, which I genuinely think is a masterclass in how to do comedy wrestling while also keeping it like you want to win the match. The missed elbow spots by the Outrunners kill me. I mean, it absolutely kills me. The timing, I'm going to say it does have ring psychology. So I'm going to throw that out there just because it wasn't just ha, funny. It was like, we're actually going to bleed this into what you would try to do if you were trying to win a match, but it all just went wrong. And also the Outrunners just don't get enough love. So my new dream is to become the fourth Outrunner, technically. Third, fourth. I mean, they sometimes team up with other people. So we'll go with the fourth.
They're big here in Kentucky as well. They're a couple of former OVW guys, but
Yeah, that's
Orange
right.
Cassidy does the comedic element really well. Like, I'll never forget being at his match with Pac, and Pac rolls him in the ring, and Orange Cassidy just rolls all the way across, which was phenomenal. Just really, really great stuff.
And he's a brilliant wrestler too. Like when he wants to go and he turns it on, he is incredible. I remember I made a prediction when AEW started that he was going to be the world champion by 2022. I missed that by 3 years. I think maybe now it probably won't happen, but I still love seeing him blow up and become a staple of mainstream American wrestling. Has been wonderful. I think the guy rules.
Oz and Gloria says, love this crossover. Did I see Simon hanging out behind Mark Clattenburg at a Q&A with Paul Scholes? I am going to pretend I know these names.
So I'm very blessed to do a YouTube show, a podcast called The Overlap here in the UK, which is a relatively big football podcast with former players Paul Scholes, Jeremy Carragher. And they had Clattenburg, who used to be a Premier League referee on. But because he's quite a controversial referee, they clipped that. So it looks like I've gone to some talk with Mark Clattenburg and I'm just hanging out. I'm hanging out behind him. I promise you it's a proper podcast. You can watch it right now. Search for The Overlap on YouTube. But yeah, just one of the many crazy opportunities that have come my way over the last 6 months to a year. Never did I think I'd get to go on a big show and talk about soccer for my American friends, which will now annoy my British friends, but that's fine. We did come up with the name soccer. Just 10. You can research this. But yes, so that was me. That was me just looking at Mark Clattenburg. Yeah.
Guys, a reminder, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. There was a subject that came up an awful lot this week that I was interested to get your take on. As Ridge Holland revealed that he was having his deal allowed to expire. And man, we posted an update on FightfulSelect.com about it, but there was an awful lot to this one that, quite frankly, just this situation didn't exist like 5 years ago. And even some wrestlers in the company saying that gained some ire, and there were some polarizing views. So Ridge Holland sustained an injury 2 weeks ago wrestling in TNA, of which he did not get paid additionally for. A lot of people said, well, he's making main roster money. He should have saved it. Well, he wasn't, because Fightful Select found out that a year ago, he took a pay cut of at least $200,000 to kind of reprove himself in NXT. And WWE effectively allowed that deal to lapse. Now, what they often do is extend people based on injury time. And quite frankly, before this regime, they would never let somebody go while they were injured. However, in the last year, they have allowed Carl Anderson, they've released Carl Anderson while injured. They have allowed, Ridge Holland to expire. They allowed Kylie Ray's ID deal to lapse a few days after she announced her pregnancy. And BJ Ray was cut from the company while battling an injury. This is a wildly different approach than what we have seen in previous years. Now, I don't ever expect WWE to go to the full AEW route where it's like, if you sign this contract, we will see it through no matter what, even if you're inactive for years and years and years. But it certainly was the method up until recently to not fire injured people, or at least not put them out like that. What was your reaction to hearing a lot of that?
Yeah, it's just better not to do it this way, right? I mean, my big thing with wrestling is always remember these are human beings. They're not just characters you see on the screen. Just take a minute to take a step back. And Rich Holland said it, right? Wife, kids, rehab's being paid for, but then from November, no income. That's scary. I mean, even if he was a multimillionaire, it's still scary to know that all of a sudden there is no one on the planet that would go, I really hope my wages get cut off when I'm injured. Nobody would, not one person would say it. And I think my big takeaway is, I don't want to get too silly here, but it's not just the problem with wrestling, it's the problem with everything. Nuance has been lost. I'm happy for you to be the biggest WWE diehard fan ever and you support them and you love them. Hell yeah, man, you go nuts. But you can still hear some things and go, not too sure about that one, right? Some things can hit you and you don't have to instantly be like, I'm going to defend. He's a human being. He's injured. It's not like WWE doesn't have the money. I understand if it was an independent company, that changes the context entirely. But when you're making more money than ever, and you've got a guy who I think has been a pretty good servant, pretty much a yes, sir, no, sir, do what you want, sir. I think you can pay him back just by seeing out the 6 months, whatever it's going to be when he's back from his foot injury. It's just a nice thing to do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being nice when you have the money. People go, but that's not how the business works. No, and WWE are perfectly allowed to do this. That was within the makeup of the world that we have created. Doesn't mean you have to like it. I don't like it. I much prefer the old way. I much prefer wrestlers being taken care of, because wrestling's super scary and super dangerous, and you never know what's going to happen.
I've seen some weird approaches to it. Like people said, oh, well, they're paying for his rehab. And I'm like, well, yeah, because they'd get sued if they didn't. They would get sued if they had him work for no money and then didn't take care of the injury that he sustained in that ring. That is not a goodwill gesture. They have to do that. And they said, oh, well, why should they pay for Kylie Ray? Accidentally muted myself. They said, why should they pay for
me? I thought I'd screwed up. I was like, oh no, I broke it.
They're like, why should they pay for Kylie Ray while she's pregnant? Because it's $500 a week in your WWE. That's why. Oh, why? What's it matter? BJ Ray isn't a draw. Well, okay. He still got hurt working for you. Oh, Carl Anderson, what's it matter? Well, it does matter because he got hurt working for you. And that's like, and again, to your point, like there are stuff my own business partner says that I don't agree with publicly. I'm not going to sit there and defend him ad nauseum, but you know what he does? Takes care of his pregnant people, takes care of his sick people, takes care of his injured people. I'll tell you what, if I got injured typing out an article for Fightful, he'd be like, well, that's fucking weird. How'd you manage to do that? But he would still take care of me if I needed to. He would still do that. And to me, it's baffling that people are just like immediately like, they put on their big business hat like they're the GM of WWE. It's business, but what the hell do you all know about business? What on earth? Because I got people in the same breath saying, well, at least they're paying for his rehab. They wouldn't, no other business would pay for him while he's out. Yeah, it's called workman's comp. It's a thing. Like, it's very common, actually.
Yeah. But that's what I don't get as well. Like, there are some things, not everybody can be perfect. So even if you are, I won't watch AEW, I'm only going to watch WWE, which you're perfectly allowed. They can't have a perfect track record. If they have a perfect track record, that's probably when you have to look inward and go, something is off here, because it's not realistic. I don't have one. You don't have one. Nobody has one. Ultimately, just to repeat what I just said, wrestling is such a crazy thing to do that I think the other worry is what it means going forward. You don't want to be a guy or a girl in the back right now. Is that going to happen to me? Because then you're going to start getting worried about it. You want that safety net of, well, at least if this happens, I'm covered and then I can figure it out. You don't want that to go away from wrestling. You really don't. Especially because the other way around, you know, the amount of times you get the people going nuts about, I can't believe they've extended their contract by a year because they've got injured. It's like, no, it's fine. They're getting paid. They got paid through the injury, and now they can be paid for the work that they still need to do. Like,
wrestling fans get some of the weirdest approaches to where I'll see people that say, why doesn't Tony just release Britt Baker? And I'm like, did you ask Britt? Does she want released? Because I know her and I've never heard her say that. Like, I mean, I've never, maybe it has, but I don't know that. And I don't want her to get fired a year before her deal is up unless she wants that.
Yeah. But I bet you get this too, though, right? You must do. Somebody will write something on Fightful, and then they drag you into it. You know, I don't necessarily agree with that just because we work together. I respect their right to have an opinion, but I think differently, and that's okay. But I get, oh, well, this was said on Whatculture. I was like, oh, I didn't write it. What you talk to them? Why are you yelling at me for? They're allowed to write whatever they want.
I'm going to apply some things I was told from people at Whatculture back in my day to Simon Miller. That's what I'm going to do. Some things that the former owner once said to me. That's what I'll do. I'll apply those to Simon Miller. I wouldn't ever do that. You are a gentleman, by God, a gentleman. This kayfabe says, not me. I'm literally always right. I've never once from Kate ever got any. Definitely didn't have a thing where people claimed she was trying to race bait Bobby Lashley. And then when I went to Bobby Lashley and said, listen, sorry if that caused any issues, he looked at me completely puzzled and said, what are you talking about? And then I had to show him, and he goes, those people do not speak for me. And he said, I'll do an interview with her right now. I was happy to answer that question. It definitely shows you the disconnect there are with the priorities of a lot of these talent and the people that swear that they know what their motivations are. I can't convey it enough, guys. Don't assume the motivations of one, millionaires, and two, artists. You don't know what these people want. You can never assume.
Amen. And it's dangerous too. Because even me, a small little being, entity in this grand thing we called life, have seen things about myself where I've gone, that is absolute baloney. It's like, you've just made that up. That's not true. It's ridiculous.
Somebody sent me some replies to the Shotzi thing that you and I were talking about, and somebody said, look at Sean booking himself in these spots. And I'm like, you think I book Pro Wrestling Revolver, one of the hottest indies? And you think I'm just, hey, Sammy, so here's what's going to happen, buddy.
Yeah, ring.
Here's what's going to happen, GCW. Hey, Black Label Pro, you know what you're going to do?
Yeah. No. You're just the centerpiece to all independent companies in North America.
Insane.
I'd actually quite like that show, to be honest.
I would love it. Meet Norma says, happy hump day. Let's crank. Should I tell you the lore behind Let's Crank?
Yeah, I don't think I do know about that. Tell me about the cranking.
Oh, man. I once reached out to Virgil for an intervio.
Nice.
And his reply was, hell yeah, let's crank. And
I wasn't ready for that.
My reply was ...
Yeah, what does it mean?
Question mark.
No? Yeah.
And ever since then, we've had the Let's Crank. Does Willow chase Statlander or Mercedes, or will she enter the tag title picture? She has one of the loudest pops at live shows. Strap her up, TK. Willow is in this unique position where she can do a little bit of anything, and the crowd is going to be there for it, Simon. Do you have a particular preference?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head without wanting to quote Cody Rhodes. If you're over, you're over. So it doesn't matter because you're over. Best quote ever. He said it way more poetic than that, but that was essentially his point. What would I think it probably wouldn't be the worst idea if there's no opportunities to put her into a tag team. She's teaming up with Harley Cameron later on the show, I believe, tonight on Dynamite. I think that's correct. I think it's Willow and Harley. That could be wrong. But the thing is, if someone like Willow wins a tag team belt, those belts are going to be over straight away because everyone likes Willow. And it will raise her profile because even though all wrestling promotions have 42,764 belts, that's just the modern way. If somebody wins a title, a lot of people are like, yeah, they won a title. It's awesome. So I think I'd probably use her to prop up my tag team division, which I'm a big fan of, by the way. There's too many belts in pro wrestling compared to what I was used to as a child, but that's fine. Wrestling evolves, wrestling changes. That's a whole different conversation. But that's a belt that we should have. I think we should have a women's tag team division on AEW. It's one of my favorite. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I really enjoy anytime WWE books their women's tag team division well, and then it always vanishes. I'm like, oh, I was enjoying that. So I think AEW can absolutely sort of lean into it. And yeah, Willow should be the poster. Why not? She should be the poster girl for it all.
I've been of the belief of late. First off, I always thought they should be world tag titles and they could be on ROH, AEW as you see fit. But like, this is AEW's opportunity to say, if you want to be a tag team wrestler and you're a woman, this is the place to go. Yeah. Like, they might put him on marquee people over there, but we're going to give care to this division. Now, will they? I don't know, especially considering we haven't heard anything about it in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
It just, oh, okay. It just went.
I feel like Willow in a singles capacity works really well. I could see people like Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter winning the tag titles first because they are both portrayed as like on the level, and AEW really likes to do that. They like to put the titles on like upper card or main event level people. That way you're of the belief that it is a main event level situation there. Simon, might I ask you, what does WWE Raw and SmackDown and NXT and the PLEs all broadcast on in the UK?
As in the individual networks, etc.
Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all on Netflix. Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah, not here. Not here.
I know. You have to go individual.
But not anymore. Not with NordVPN.com/Fightful, Simon. We can act like we're Simon Milton. We'll be all that. Right. Watching WWE Raw, NXT, SmackDown, PLEs with NordVPN.com/Fightful. Maybe you want this weekend's AEW pay-per-view at a much more reduced price. And you're like, well, why would they reduce the price over there? Well, because people like Simon got to be up at 2, 3 in the morning. Well, it's an AEW pay-per-view. You'll be up till 5 or 6 in the morning watching that thing over there. So they make it a lot more affordable. Right now, get 2 years plus 4 months extra, and you're going to end up paying like $2.98 a month instead of paying that $30 for ESPN Plus. You're going to end up saving money with this. You might say, well, Sean, what if I don't like it? 30-day money back guarantee. Sean, what? I don't know if it'll work on my Sega Game Gear. It probably does. It works on all devices, all operating systems. You got a Virtual Boy? Go blind watching NordVPN.com/Fightful and WrestleDream this weekend. Sean, I don't know if I'll know how to use it. 24/7 tech support. Here's how you use it. Subscribe, virtually pennies. Download the app, change your virtual location. I changed mine to the UK to watch this past weekend's Crown Jewel. Then you log into your Netflix account. They are remarkably chill about it because they don't really care if you're using a VPN. They just want your subscription no matter where you are. And then you're good to go. TNA pay-per-view this past weekend. It's how I watched it. When I want to change markets to watch specific American football games, I do that. Denise gave me that little tip. NordVPN.com/Fightful. They have a plethora of other great benefits that you can check out at NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Just heroes.
Yeah. Look at this. Kenny G, hopefully the artist, says, finally, Simon Miller, your videos are fire. Will you wrestle for AEW? And Sean, what's up with Andrade? Nothing, right? Your vids are all right. Listen, I am not as much of a video guy. I do them here and there, but Simon does do very good at videos. Simon, you wrestling for AEW has been something that's been brought up quite a number of times. Have you ever been approached, or is that something you'd be interested in?
I mean, that's one of my dreams, right? I spoke about it on a video at the start of this year when people asked me about manifesting things into reality, which was a very interesting question. I mean, I've done extra work for them, which was the coolest thing ever. I think I caused a little bit of a fuss because a lot of people in the front row were going, give it up. And I was like, oh no, I'm meant to be a faceless warrior. Shut up. No, it's very cool. But no, absolutely. I've reached out to them, but I understand it. Think how many people reach out to them, but I'm not going to stop trying.
Sure.
That goes for anything. My number one goal, not necessarily, I'm talking about baby steps here, is just to have a match on a television show. Somebody can beat me in half a second. Somebody can poke me in the eye. They can kick me in the groinal area. I do not care. I do not have an ego when it comes to these things. I would just like to, again, I treat it like the gym, to go back to our fitness conversation. You don't want to wake up the next day being Ronnie Coleman. You just want to see a little bit of bicep, and then you want to see a little bit of quad. So from where I am right now, you know, doing some really cool things in the UK, you're like, all right, I want to keep this on, but what's next? And yes, having any form of TV appearance on AEW is on my manifestation list, and we're doing our best. And thank you to everyone that always, I see you tweeting Tony Khan. It's very, very kind. I'm sure he sort of hates me on one level, but I appreciate it because wrestling in 2025 is all about noise. So yes, let's make this happen one way or the other. Again, somebody can come and I'll grow my hair and they can shave it again. Whatever we got to do, that's what we can do.
Ronnie Coleman was one of my very early YouTube discoveries, actually. Like,
really?
One of the,
wow.
Yeah, like just hearing him shout at everything was course, like,
yes,
I was like, oh my God, this guy is incredible.
He's the best. Incredible. He's the man, yeah. And he killed himself.
John Hope says, why? Here's why. I just wanted to shout out Simon. Saw him, Oli, and Luke, and chatted with him at Forbidden Door. Nicest guy. Congrats for the PWI 500. Well, here's how that conversation went. If Ollie were to congratulate, hello, I have learned that you have made the PWI 500. Wow.
It was a bit like that, yeah.
First reported by Fightful.com.
Absolutely. That was cool. That was, again, when you talk about baby steps, I would tell you a story, Sean. So I woke up the day, and I knew the PWI 500 was coming out because I'd seen a tweet the day before. And just to reveal my hopes and dreams and emotions, I said to myself, Simon, you're not going to be in it. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Like, it is what it is. And then somebody tweeted going, Millie, 350. I thought I was being trolled. So I thought I'll go buy the issue anyway. I like going through the PW 500. And there I was, number 350. And I don't care if it makes me a nerd. I don't care if it makes me a geek. I don't care if it makes me a loser. I will be all of those things. I was super happy. And again, talking about the baby steps thing, I was like, right, good. We ticked that one. And we will use that as motivation to continue because, you know, wrestling sometimes can be hard and it makes you sad. And those little things make you happy again. So like, I'm going to continue. So that was cool. That was, it was really badass. And it was nice for me because over the last 12 months had been my most successful period in wrestling. So to have a nice little top off was like, all right, yes, sweet. Thank you. And thank you to PWI as well.
And congrats to you, of course.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
RM says Braun needs to beat Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. With the Chamber being in Chicago, Punk should use that to face Cody at Mania 42. Is that match more or less likely due to Seth's injury? Braun versus Roman, Mania 42 is money. I actually think that Braun versus Roman is a great way to go. And I think that Punk versus Cody is a great way to go because they're not matches we've seen done a lot. All due respect to Seth and Roman, when I heard like that was the direction, I said, okay, well, that's a match we've seen 234 times. Don't need that. But how are you feeling about this situation?
It's kind of hilarious. Me and RM are on a very similar wavelength. He's going to see my video going live later this week and think I've ripped him off. I promise you, I've already filmed it. But that was my big point. I was like, I think it should be Punk to win the championship next so that Bron Breakker can beat him, not the other way around. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to create stars, right? CM Punk could lose for the rest of his career, and it's not going to affect him at all because he's incredibly popular and incredibly successful. And his legacy is totally established. And yes, I've been saying for ages, I want Punk versus Cody at WrestleMania because sometimes wrestling does bad things to us and we don't pull the trigger fast enough and then it goes away. And I'm like, oh no, we should have done it. Why didn't we do it? And I think Braun versus Roman at WrestleMania 42, Spear versus Spear. I mean, they've been building that since NXT. Remember the t-shirt he had, world's best spear, whatever it said. So yeah, I would do exactly all of that, RM. I think that's good booking.
I don't know how many more moments we can see where two people look at each other in the ring at the Royal Rumble and they go, oh, and the crowd's like, yeah. And then they never do anything with it.
I know.
Four horsewomen 4-way could have main evented Mania.
Yep.
They did the Shield triple threat, but that could have also main evented Mania.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we need to Punk Cody it's a must do. So let's get it done. And let's not, some things don't need to wait. That story is already there. We know what it is. So let's make it happen.
Who was the first heel you liked as a kid before you found out it was all scripted? For me, it was Ted DiBiase. He had the cool belt.
I was going to say, yes.
He had the cool belt, the shiny suit, all that stuff. I liked Virgil a lot too, actually. Like I just thought that he was cool looking.
And he was rich. Everyone likes being rich.
Yeah, that's also true. He was absolutely rich, and that was the important part. I wanted to be rich.
Yeah, as a kid, you're told money is cool. And it was funny because it was SummerSlam when Virgil beats him. That was my first, oh, wow, wrestling can be not exciting. That's the wrong word. But I was so surprised. I couldn't believe that Virgil had actually done it and, defeated this horrible boss man, whatever word we want to call him. Yeah, I was like, my God, I was so happy as a child. He actually did it. I can't believe it. So, yeah. I think Ted DiBiase, and of course Repo Man. I have to get my Repo Man.
Man, that gimmick, like people crap on it, but like today, it would be so funny.
I'll be so over today. Can you imagine that?
It would be mega over today.
Oh my gosh!
Like Danhausen is the Repo Man.
I told him that. He is
really.
He is the brand new Repo Man. I told him that. He probably forgot. It was during an interview. I said, you're basically like new Repo Man, but he's in character, so I got a funny Danhausen answer. But I totally agree with that. You're spot on, 100%.
Oh boy. What? Sean fumbled chance in the chat. What do you mean? I fumbled chance in the chat. I'm paying attention to the starred section, Miss Kate Fabe. I'm paying attention to the ones that are sending us super chats and humper chats. I'm worried about humps, not chance. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
It's all about the humps. Even I know that. As my debut, I know it's all about the humps. We got to get some humping in.
All about the humps, by God.
Yeah.
Shout out to the almighty Miss Kayfabe, always keeping it real for the animals on Blue Sky. Simon, have you interviewed Roy Keane?
He's another very famous ex-Premier League football player. I have not interviewed Roy Keane. In terms of the people they're referencing, it has been Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, and Paul Scholes. They will know what that means, but not Roy Keane as of yet, no.
Okay. DNC Digital says, would you rather be the leader of a very successful faction or the least important member of an unsuccessful but cult favorite faction? I mean, I would rather be the leader of a very successful faction because that would probably lead to more money and history. And then when I inevitably imploded my career, I could do meet and greets off of that alone. And I could do little things where I induct random people in the indies into my faction. So that for sure.
That's right. And then you could pop up on indie shows just in the t-shirt of said faction, probably for around about 15 years and make money off of it. So absolutely the leader of a very successful faction.
Always. Yes. Like
I'll be the leader of not a very successful faction because these days, as long as you're on TV for a bit, you can ride that way for a good 10 years. So that's fine too.
If Seth has to vacate the title, do you see Braun versus Punk for the vacated title? I don't think it's an accident that Braun Breaker held that title up. Like, I don't think that that's an accident. And I had been asking for like weeks, like, why would these two guys be in a faction with Seth Rollins? Bronson Reed was beating his ass every week, and Braun Breaker was clearly on the ascent. What do they gain? They haven't gained anything. In fact, they've halted their, I don't want to say halted. Bronson Reed just beat Roman Reigns, but they've slowed their momentum towards the championship. So to me, this makes an awful lot of sense anyway.
I thought that. So I imagine that it is injury fueled and we're like, okay, let's just get it done. But in terms of creative, it was the right decision too. It's way more interesting doing this because Braun Breaker could literally come out and just say what you said and everyone will go, yeah, good point. And Bronson Reed could go, I beat Roman Reigns without you. Oh yeah, good point. So you can justify it too. So I actually, listen, I never want anyone to be hurt and I truly hope Seth Rollins is okay because that man is a he's just a warrior when it comes to WWE. But they have fallen into a very good creative situation with it. I think it's going to make Raw way more interesting. And it should be Braun versus Punk for the vacate. Again, don't overthink it. Keep it simple sometimes, man. Just give people what they can digest in the simplest way possible.
Oh boy, Kate out here trolling. Can Simon counter toe holds of the drop variety? I don't know. Let's ask him. Let's see if you can counter this bad boy.
I don't know if I know any wrestling moves.
Look at that wrist control, buddy.
Honestly, it was great. Do you know what? Two things. Firstly, shout out to Shazza McKenzie, just the flipping best.
Well, I guess.
Also, I wouldn't be able to counter that. One, I realized I've never countered a drop toe hold in my entire career. But two, dude, it's a great drop toe hold. Great. So good, it could genuinely be a finishing move. And people
Do you
will
know who
laugh at
taught me
that.
that drop toe hold?
I'm gonna say
Legitimately.
Bret the Hitman Hart, just to throw out a name, ridiculous name.
Billy Robinson taught me that.
I mean,
drop
that's
toe
almost the same level. That's
personally.
ridiculous. That's
Yes.
incredible. That is incredible. So that's like a proper Rocky passing down moment.
There you go. But listen, it doesn't always work out. Doesn't. But look, I got another one for you. It eventually does.
Look how strong I am. Oh no!
That could be you.
I mean, you pin me, I lose on my throat.
I did have someone approach me about possibly being interested in a match with you. Have I told you this?
No, but let's do it. Why did you
Maybe.
say yes?
Well, we'll see. I'm not cleared right now.
Okay, right.
I
Well,
wasn't supposed to do anything 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's funny, right? I want to go on this YouTube, right? YouTube's such a ridiculous word. But obviously, you got Chris Danger and BDE. They're about to fight in Warrior Wrestling. I want to start making a fuss at the right given time. I want to take everyone on. Sean, I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. That was the best thing ever.
It was an outfit out of Tennessee, out of Nashville, if you know who I mean.
I think I do, yes. I think so.
Probably. Some very nice gentlemen there as well. But we've got Ryan Bin saying, afternoon, SRS. Evening, Simon. Thanks for all you do for us. Well, thanks for giving a heck.
I mean, that's just super nice. I appreciate that. I will never, ever take that for granted that somebody went out of their way to say thank you, because I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but I always think it's the other way around. Like, you've allowed me to have this awesome platform that keeps giving me opportunities. And that doesn't happen if people don't watch the content. So
absolutely.
Yep.
DNC Digital clarifies the very easy question that we answered. He goes, the leader of an unsuccessful cult favorite faction or the least important member of a successful one. So, like, Sick Boy and Lodi still get bookings, right?
They do, yeah.
But, like, what would be the comparison? What's an unsuccessful cult favorite faction? I can't say like RTC because that's not a favorite, but like they were over.
Yeah, they were. They got heat, super heat. I don't know. That's such a good question. I need examples because I think just my very limited arrogance, I always want to be the leader. I always want to be in charge.
Plus, you have more. Again, you do we think of, because we go to these conventions and stuff, we think about what happens afterwards. And if you're the least successful or least important member, it's already going to be hard to draw a crowd. Then people are going to see you still putting on your Ravens flock stuff and they're going to go, But if you are the leader of the unsuccessful but cult favorite, you got kind of like the rights to use that, even if it's not by trademark reasons. Yeah. You've still got FBI is a good example. I wouldn't call them like a big one, but look, little Guido is still out there at TNA this past week. He still gets bookings. He inducted Deonna Purrazzo a while back. Like, he's going to get that for a long time. Like, so yeah, for sure, the leader.
I think so. And then you could go on podcasts in 20 years and talk about it. They're not going to want member number 3. They're going to want member number 1. And I'm always thinking long term, what podcast can I be on in 2045?
I saw a comment about Shaza. I got shazed this week. You know what getting shazed is?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm at the car dealership. It's when you scroll down your phone and you see a picture of her big fucking ass on your things. That's all she posts. And you're in public and you're like, ah! My wife, who knows and adores Shaza, is like, I had to stop opening Instagram in public. Like couldn't help it.
I mean, I've been there.
Airports are the worst. Airports are the worst. Because I'm just sitting there, like, minding my own business, and it's like subs are half off, and I'm like, we know.
It genuinely happened to me in a post office. And I rarely go to a post office. Well, I remember. I was just like, oh, there's an elderly lady behind me. Better scroll past that pretty quickly.
Yes. Somebody mentioned the atomic drop spot. So I did a spot with Shaza where I atomic dropped her, but her ass was so powerful that I sold.
Obviously, of course.
Because my thing was, when I thought of that match, I was like, okay, it's got to be comedic, but I'm doing this to raise money for charity, but like she's in the business of selling subscriptions. So how can I get some subscriptions sold for her?
Nice. See, you should be booking the entire North American indie scene. You see, you should be in charge of all these promotions. You got the knowledge.
Oz and Gloria says NordVPN only works on Game Gear on battery mode. So 6 minutes.
I'll never forget it. I was sort of very late to the Game Gear, but yeah, the amount of double A's that you had to stick in that stupid thing, ridiculous.
Orion Ben says Dream Tag Team, Goofy Simon with Sirius Claudio. You could do twin magic with him.
Oh, do you know how much I would love that? And also, Claudio backstage at AEW show, and he once said the kindest things ever to me, which I won't share because that's not cool, but it made my life because I'm still talking about it. It was like 2 years ago. So that dude is just the best. What a guy.
Incredible performer. So I got people saying Andrade's situation is interesting, and any idea, any word what's happening with Andrade hasn't been seen or mentioned since his AEW return. Alvarez said AEW is keeping quiet about him, so I hope everything's okay. They are. I'm going to also ask. I'm going to ask Tony Khan directly this afternoon. I've been digging into it, and the one person that I figured would know really couldn't say much. And then I heard from somebody else that directly talked with him, said he was working out, said he seemed like he was in a good mood. I don't know what's going on with Andrade. I'm trying to find out what's happening with Andrade, but it is the most Andrade thing. I mean, honestly, if I were AEW, I would legitimately manufacture a situation like this to play off of his reputation, Simon.
I mean, that's a great point to make, because without wanting to get too nerdy here, that is 2025 kayfabe, right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
You kind of merge all these things together to get people talking, and then all of a sudden it goes up and up and the anticipation grows. But I really don't know. My big thing is I appreciate what that last guy said. I hope he's okay. That's always my thing nowadays. I just hope they're all right. Don't care about anything else on television. I just hope they're getting on okay. But that is true. And if they are doing that, just speaking very, matter-of-factly in the fictional world, that's pretty smart. That's pretty good, especially because he did appear from nowhere, and it was with Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega just seems to be people just talk about anything that Kenny does. If that turns out to be the case, I'll give him a round of applause. That's good stuff.
Terry Allen Jr. says he's been uninterested in the NXT speed matches. Will this fail? If they don't get a deal for the speed thing, I think they're just going to nix it. Too many belts.
Yeah, you don't need the speed belt. I like the idea of it, but you just don't need it in NXT. It's just not. Just do it for fun every now and then. Make that somebody's gimmick match, and then build to a. I don't know. They have so many pay-per-views. I can't remember the names, but just build to one place and do it there. Yeah.
Tom Talks Rubbish says, love that Simon's here. You're both awesome. This is the gentleman who I did the interview with and complimented you, and his clip has like a bunch of views on it. So.
And I really need to do an interview with him. He asks me all the time, and I never respond because I'm like, I hate saying I can't do it at the moment. I've said that to him so many times, legitimately, because I am blessed that people actually want me to do stuff for them. And I felt so bad that I can't do it. But I do have a list of people that one day I'm going to message that guy, and he genuinely is on it. It's just, I hate saying no over and over again. It kills me. I'm not doing it because I think I'm not doing that. It's because for some reason people want me to do work for them, which is great. I appreciate it a lot.
BL says, ooh, War Games for US versus Euro. You get a whole continent? What is this? You get a continent?
Damn right.
Sean captains a US-born, 2 female, 2 male group. Simon captains a Euro-born crew. Who are your respected teams? Well, we don't have to draft here unless it's like, unless somebody holds dual citizenship. Kane, for example, was born in Spain. Wait, is that?
Are you drafting Kane? Is that what you're saying? You're taking Kane?
No, absolutely not. But like, you know what I mean? Like he was born somewhere people don't expect.
He was, yeah.
But my pick for the men would be Cody Rhodes and Hangman Page, the 2 top dogs, and the women would be Mercedes Moné and Bianca Belair.
It's pretty good. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take Will Ospreay for obvious reasons. And I will take Rusev. There you go. That works. I can tell Ruru can do it. And then I'll take Alex Windsor because she's on the up at the moment. She's flying. And you know what? I'll take Lara Valkyria. There you go.
Okay.
Boom. There you go. That's my team.
Okay, that's great. I'd win. Josh says, "Hey, Sean's wrestling's having a great week. This MF spitting Ethan Page versus Punk program. Book it, bitch." I know Ethan Page was very happy to work with CM Punk to do that NXT stuff. I don't see that program happening in the near future. Clearly, Ethan Page is very valuable to NXT, which I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, when is he coming up? When is so and so coming up?" They're on network TV out here. Like they've got to put names that people like, but I would love to see that eventually. I will.
I think it will happen, but I just think you hit the nail on the head. He's so good and he's so reliable, which is perfect for wrestling television. You know, you're going to get at the very least super good every single show that they do, and you need those foundations. Otherwise, people don't tune in as much because they enjoy like seeing the stars, right? That's what people want to see. But he will get called out one day. It's difficult to have a program with Punk just because there's so many programs for Punk to get through. But it would be awesome. I think Ethan Page is one of the most underrated wrestlers going right now.
I do too.
Fantastic.
I do too. Oh man, this weekend full of controversy. And I tried to give you all the tips at FightfulSelect.com. And that my bookie betting preview, people said, "Sean, why are the lines with Leon Slater and Javon Evans so close?" And I said, "There's a reason, guys, and you're not going to like it." But you might like your results over at MyBookie AG. If you think betting on wrestling would be easy, head over to MyBookie AG, where you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly, but you get a $50 bonus on a $100 deposit or a $100 bonus on a $200 deposit. I've been betting a lot on the NFL. I put some mercy bucks up on my Cincinnati Bengals, and that hasn't worked out well. But considering the great parity in the NFL right now, I've been doing pretty damn hot, pretty damn good. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to put a little on the Blue Jays to win the next ALCS game as well. But you can bet on anything over at MyBookie, including wrestling, where they have odds up on who Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent will be. Gunther is the favorite as of right now. Head over there. You can deposit with Bitcoin. You can do live slots. You can do live casino games, all kinds of good stuff there. And they have the best support in the business if you need it. MyBookie AG. Use that code FIGHTFUL. We have breaking news here. Roman Reigns has shown up and says it's not Gunther, and he wants us to know that the Seth injury is a work.
Thanks, Roman.
If Roman says it.
Thank goodness. I was so worried, and now I know. So awesome. I can rest easy this evening.
My God, like what? I can't believe that he would stop by here. I mean, Jesus.
You're a big deal, Sean. You're a big deal. This is how you get all your scoops, right? People just send you messages. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. I think this is Phil saying Bengals Bears on November 2nd. It's going to be filthy. It's going to be an ugly ass game, Phil. It's going to be gross. Look at Roman. Stop. Hold on, wait.
He put the one. He put on the one. It's definitely Roman Reigns. He wouldn't do that unless it was Roman Reigns.
I was skeptical at first.
Now I know. Now I know it's Roman Reigns. Thank you, Roman.
Sure, Roman Reigns.
Absolutely. Lovely to meet you in person, kind of.
Yes. Thank you, Roman Reigns. Longtime fan.
Bye.
Sean, do you think they do Cody versus Randy or Cody versus Punk? As a follow-up to my OG Super Chat, I fear Triple H may just want Punk to be World Heavyweight Champion, not go for Cody. I apologize, Sean, for using this for confirmation bias. I really think that they have intentionally kept Cody and Punk apart so they can do a big Mania program. We've seen Cody Orton already. Again, I don't think that we need to see it again. I think Cody and Punk is the way, Simon.
Oh, no, yeah, you won't get an argument out of me. That's a WrestleMania match. And because it's Cody and Punk, they will lean into all the things you want them to lean into, and you will go crazy every single week. And they probably won't lay a finger of each other because it's just too promo. And they will talk about, if you wanted a WWE wrestler to ever make a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to things that may have happened a couple of years ago, it will happen when Cody goes to CM Punk have that, and it will save it for the week before WrestleMania, and the internet will die. And that match will happen, and people will be at a fever pitch. If it goes the way it should do, it will be brilliant. It can't not be because it writes itself.
I can't wait to see Cody saying stuff like, yeah, when I went and tried to build a place, you tried to destroy it in front of my eyes. Oh
That's
God,
going to be it, and people are going to eat that. They're going to eat good.
they're gonna love
day,
it.
and they're going to have their hit pieces, their hot takes. It's going to be everywhere.
Just Mass says, not to get political, but based on where Cena's final match is, and I don't know if he would, if that guy is there, meaning Trump, and Cena shakes his hand, does he get an icy reception? At least more than he would have. Well, certainly more than he would have, because the live WWE audience is not into that. But I did see a video that somebody posted, a street journalist, which I have no
I saw
respect
this,
for.
yeah.
Yeah. And they asked if Trump should have won the Nobel Prize, and Punk just or Cena just said, "No, thank you." Not as in the no, thank you. He shouldn't, as in a no, thank you. I am not answering that. I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole type of thing. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Oh no, that's you shouldn't stick a phone in somebody's face and ask them questions like
Exactly.
that. You just shouldn't. And I mean that for everybody on this planet. It is not healthy, it's not good, and it's only being done for one reason, and that it's not cool.
Yes. Yes. Simon, is the UK wrestling scene changed in any way since NXT UK is closed and NXT Europe is up in the air? Is there a hole that is felt by anyone? That sounds like a BlueChew.com code Fightful thing, but go
There's
ahead.
a big hole that needs to be filled with Blue Chew, yeah. So, I mean, it all depends how you want to look at it. I can tell you, first and foremost, the UK scene right now is flourishing if you want to be a professional wrestler and you want to go to a show. There is a show every single weekend up and down the country. I worked one this weekend that was for a small promotion called Elevation. They put 300 people in there. I worked for Progress over the AEW weekend. They had over 1,000 in there. Obviously, Red Pro does 3,000 every now and then. But if you want to compare it to the boom of 2016, no, it's not as big as it was then.
Sure.
But that's because it was a boom. And I don't say that negatively at all. I'm saying that's where wrestling exploded and led to a lot of the opportunities and promotions that we see today. And bless all those people for doing it. But it'd be the equivalent of, say, you know, in 2015, well, why isn't WWE as big as it was when it was in the Attitude Era? And I said, because things come and go. But there's still great things going on. And again, I'd see it firsthand. And there are an incredible amount of UK wrestlers right now all ready to blow up and all ready to explode and having tryouts all the time. I won't drop names because, again, it's not my place to. Sean probably already knows. There are more announcements to be made about UK guys that will be headed to companies soon. And trust me, the amount of people that think this and they come over and they're like, oh my gosh, you can literally still have shows in front of 50 people if you want. And they're still great because they hold them in little small social halls. And everybody's into it, and you have fun. It all depends on what you want to do. So it's flourishing, but no, it's not as big as it was in 2016 because that's life. And I hate saying this, there's ups and downs, but it's just true. There is, and it's certainly not down at the moment at all. Again, I'm working this weekend. I literally am booked for the rest of the year, and I want to do more international dates, but actually they're all in the UK. So yeah, it's a good time to be a British professional wrestler.
Josh says, Simon and Sean want to say thanks for being a bright spot in my day as I'm going through a rough custody battle. Thank you for everything you do. Well, good luck. And just glad we can brighten up your day, honestly.
Always. Anyone that says anything like that, if I can affect your mood and put you in a more positive mind space, then that's a wonderful offset of I never expected that. So yes, I appreciate it a lot. And good luck to you as well, as Sean said.
Inflatable Carnival says, here's $5. Why? Please do it at the same time. Here's why. I don't know. I don't know that we can, like, it's hard to, like, because we have like a very split second delay.
Yeah. And also there's no rhyme or reason to it anymore. It used to be loads. And then rightfully somebody in wrestling told me, Mella, you're overdoing it. They were 100% right.
Less is more.
To be effective, it has to be one.
Slow down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're going too fast with this head slap, Simon. Go slower.
Oh God!
But they were right. They were right. So now it's all changed, and now it's all over the place.
Oh, they're telling you to slap on a headlock on yourself before you hit the.
Right. I do it now more in wrestling than I do in videos. It's kind of died off in videos, but obviously in wrestling, having a bunch of fans slap your head and slap their heads is actually something that no one's ever done. Well, I'm sure someone's done it, but not in where I'm currently going. So, yeah, you can come to wrestling shows and watch me slap my head and slap your head to cheer me on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tom Talks Rubber says, wasn't sending for the love, but very much appreciate it. Well, we do like you a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, do you think Jericho is coming to WWE?
I knew it was going to happen.
So, I say never try to understand the inspirations or motivations of a millionaire. But if I were Chris Jericho, I would. I would. There's nothing else he can do in AEW. There's nothing right now. He could go on a Mania run in WWE. Then I would go to AAA and go on a Triple Mania run. Then I would leave and go to TNA and do a Bound for Glory run. And then I would come back to WWE for the Saudi Mania run because he's going to get paid off that too. He'll be in there with the New Age Outlaws and the Hardy Boys and everybody.
I'm with you. I think he should. It's not even again, he should do whatever the hell he wants. But in terms of the winds of change, you just feel it sometimes. And he's just got to that point. I don't think you can ever, I always get this wrong, overstate. That's right. You can never overstate how important he was to AEW. I mean, hugely, hugely important. But again, it's like, it's just time to go somewhere else and do something new. And listen, we saw the response when Cena put on the Walls of Jericho to AJ Styles and Crown Jewel. People went crazy. And not only there, I was on social media and people just going, oh my God, Chris Jericho. So if he's going to go to WWE and be reacted like that, lean into it. He's Chris Jericho, man. He can do whatever the hell he wants. But yeah, it seems to be the right move to make.
Jarrett Bailey says, Sean, when will you bring your lovely friend Jarrett on Common Bengals W to talk your Lord and Savior Joe Burrow? Simon, you're the man. Cheers, lads. Well, not for the next 2 months because Joe Burrow is still sidelined, but I did have former NFL player Sean Merriman on today to talk about Joe Burrow and Joe Flacco. If you guys, for any reason, are interested in American football, check out Common Bengals W on Twitter, on YouTube. It is the thing that I do to stay sane from when I'm doing this all the time. Isn't it funny that we do so much on-screen wrestling stuff that when we're not, it's like, what can we do? Another sport on camera. That's
100%. We literally do the same thing. You do American football, I do British football, and it's my everything's fine. Calm down moment. Yeah.
The Bengals getting their asses kicked is my relief here. Like that's
everything's going to be right with the world. Yeah, it happened again.
Shadow C says, just wanted to tell Simon Miller I appreciate him. Keep doing what you do. Very entertaining. Been watching for a long time. Granted, I'm an AEW bot. Salute.
That's very funny. Well, thank you very much. Listen, even if you are a bot, if you say nice things about me, that's cool. It's the bots that are really mean that I don't like. They're the ones that can go away and send me death threats in my DMs. But yes, that's very, very kind of you, man. And I will do my best to continue. Been doing it a while now. Kind of terrifying how long I've been doing it.
You're doing very good at it, though. Like,
thanks, man. I was right back at you as well, dude. You're flying the flag.
You made me not have a disdain for Whatculture after somebody fired me from there, who is no longer there, I believe.
Well, it makes me laugh as well. And I'm not saying this to create commotion or anything, but I've always been a freelancer for Whatculture. And again, that's fine. It's a good thing. Like, it works for both of us. We've always been happy again. I would have left if I wasn't happy and vice versa. But yeah, you get people just making stuff up all the time. And I saw when you first mentioned that, I saw people going, no, you didn't, Sean. I was like, what do you think? You just thought, who shall I take shots at today? I just pull a rabbit out of a hat. So ridiculous.
But I did have a lot of people be like, oh, so you hate Simon. I'm like, no, he's lovely. He's wonderful.
I remember that because you quote tweet or whatever. And I remember I thought it was very nice. I had a very good day that day. I was like, oh, Sean, you lovely man.
Yeah, I just didn't like the guy who is no longer there who said, you should never write wrestling news again. And I said, okay, motherfucker. That's what I said.
I mean, you proved everyone wrong. Let's just put it like that.
Let's go.
You are now the top of the tree. You are the wrestling
Let's
news.
Go.
You are the news.
And but I mean, even the gentlemen that were doing things there before you, I was like, man, those guys are very talented. I wish I would have lasted long enough to have worked with any of you guys. But the cards didn't fall. And now I have to work with instead. So everything's fine.
Everything worked out,
great.
Sean, and that's the main thing. You are smashing it and then some. Apart from obviously this meltdown that's happening right now.
So great, guys. Just Ricardo says, hope you have a great day, you bald.
Reclaimed.
Whoa, it was not Adam Pacini that fired me. What are we talking about here?
No, listen, no. It was public. Listen, we're not going to get into this because it's public facing people. No, they didn't have any decisions. No one public facing.
Nobody that any of you have ever heard of ever. Look, I don't know what this man looks like. Period. Ryan says, Sean, do you know what's going on with Andrade? I don't. You missed it, man. I don't. There are people there that know and aren't telling Meltzer, and people there that know and aren't telling me, but I'm digging into it, by God. I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten in the past where people have said, well, if you're going to report this, just go ahead and ask me, and I'll just tell you if I can. Well, they ain't telling me right now. And it is weird, but again, I don't know for sure, but if I were AEW, this is exactly what I would do very intentionally, and I would set this up and make it a modern day. Oh, you all think this guy is nuts? All right, then. Let's
make him nuts. That's Brian Pillman.
Make him nuts.
Right? Yeah, listening into that Michael Keaton Batman stuff.
And then Bobby wraps us up. Jericho versus Logan Paul or Jericho versus Dom for Mania 42. I think Jericho would be a heel against Dom at this point. I think people want to love Dom. I think that Jericho versus Logan Paul would have negative buzz.
Yeah.
It would have minus buzz.
I think as long as Dom wins, that's a good match.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I think, well, I said this on a video the other day. That's when anytime you say something that's slightly over the top on a video, you find that there's always a section of fans that do not like someone. I said if I was WWE, I would start Dominic Mysterio, no end point, but on his pathway to move up to the main event. Let's see if it works. We don't know. It may be a failure, but let's give it a go. You think Dominic Mysterio should be the world champion? Yes, I would like to. What's the worst that can happen? It sucks. All right, undo it. If you can do whatever you want, just write down Dominic will lose the championship. But I think he speaks to a younger audience demographic just by the way he is, the way he dresses, the lingo he uses. I think he can light the place up. I think they've got gold with that one.
And I think that Jericho, assuming Dom is still the IC champion at that point, like Chris Jericho coming and saying, well, you're going to face one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I've won that belt.
Let's see how good you are.
That's brilliant. I like that a lot. That'd be a good feud. I'd be into it.
Simon, please tell these wonderful people where they can follow you, support you, check out your incredible work, whether it be in the ring or on camera.
So, indeed, if you type my name, Simon Miller, you will find me. I have my own YouTube channel, Simon Miller. Obviously, do ups and downs for Whatculture as well. Depressingly, my social media is Simon316 because when I set up social media, I did not know where my future was heading, but I didn't even understand what Twitter was when I signed up for it. My mate was telling me, I thought, well, I like Steve Austin. All right, 316. But never mind, we're here now, and I don't mind being a nerd. And yes, if you want to follow my wrestling dates, mostly on Instagram is where I put the posters, etc., but I put them on Twitter as well here and there. But I mean, literally up and down the country every weekend, working on some American shows at the moment. So I would love to see you. It's always a joy.
Simon, it was an honor to have you. You are one of the most brilliant people in this wrestling media landscape. And not only that, I mean, just a wonderful person. And you cultivate a phenomenal community and a smarter audience that we try to cater to as well. And as you know, that ain't always easy.
No, it's not.
That ain't always easy, but you do a fantastic job. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
That's lovely words, Sean. Genuinely, that stuff doesn't just bounce off the surface. I'm probably crying about 10 minutes. That's fine. Here's for a reason. But thank you. And right back at you, dude. I know you get a lot of craziness, but you're leading the charge. And and I've seen it just a little bit here and there. But it's awesome to have someone reporting on this stuff in the way that it needs to be reported. Otherwise, who the flub knows where we'd be. So, yeah, big fan, my friend. And thank you for having me on.
Guys, I want to thank you all so much. Next week, we have Tempest joining us. Until next time, my friends, we're out.